Hi everyone. Today, beginning the month of April, which is month 4, and 4 is all about celebration and abundance, and I thought, why not have a reading about how to create that abundance and something worth celebrating in our lives. Not that abundance is the only thing we're celebrating, but So we've got 3 groups here, as you can see, each of them represented by a different deck and a different coin. First group is the Cloister's Tarot. This is what the deck looks like. This is what your coin looks like. There we go. This is a 1 real coin, which is a currency we use in Brazil. Group 2, you have this deck, which is the Illuminated Tarot deck, and you have this coin. It says Arts District on it. This is what the back looks like. It's not exactly a coin, more of a token. It's for Arts District is this bar in Los Angeles where you can play arcade games and drink at the same time, and these are the little tokens you use. So that's your little symbol. Group 3, this is your deck, and it's the Shadowscape Tarot, and your coin is an American dollar. American gold dollar coin. So take a deep breath, ask yourself, ask spirit, your spiritual guides, your inner self, your departed ones that are helping you in this life journey, which one of these piles will bring you the most clarity and the most helpful advice, and I'll see you in your reading. Timestamps will be down below. Hi Group 1, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this 1 real coin, this will be your reading. I'll leave it right here, right on top of the Cancer sign. You guys can't really see it, can you? Doesn't matter. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to pull 9 tarot cards. The first roll will be where you're at right now in terms of abundance. The second roll will be kind of the immediate past of, or like why, just like clarifying that first roll. And then the third roll will be advice, and then we will pull some oracle cards as well for you. So please, Spirit, for the people who picked this group, what is their current status of abundance? You got the Chariot. Please, Spirit, for people who picked group 1, current status of abundance. I'm just going to take the top card there. Oh, but it was reversed. Please, Spirit, for people who picked this group, what is their current status of abundance? 9 of Swords. So the second roll will be like what's blocking you, or like what's the background of this. Please, Spirit. I have a clarifying card for the Chariot. What is blocking this group? What is blocking this Chariot energy from this group? Why do they have... Whoa. All right. A lot of things flew out, but the only one that actually felt upright is the Queen of Pentacles. And she's sideways. Please, Spirit, please clarify this 9 of Pentacles reverse. What's preventing or blocking Group 1 from accessing their full abundance? Please, Spirit. The Hangman reversed, and under that was the Magician sideways. So last, please, Spirit, clarify this 9 of Swords. What's preventing Group 1 from reaching their full abundance? Can you please clarify this 9 of Swords? What's preventing Group 1 from reaching their abundance? King of Pentacles. At your bottom of that energy, you've got the Nine of Spades, even though we're still going to pull more cards. So as your first card, you've got the Chariot. The Chariot is a card of action, of movement. So you've been like making moves, you've been hustling, you've been trying, you've been taking action, going after what you want, trying to find balance in your life, but somehow you keep coming back to this Nine of Pentacles reverse. The Nine of Pentacles is about abundance, one of the most abundant cards in the deck, like the Empress, really. But you got it reversed, so you're just like really not feeling the abundance in your life. You don't feel like the amount of work that you put in is at all proportional to the amount of abundance you receive back. Maybe you do have some money, some savings, but it definitely doesn't feel like abundant, especially considering how hard you're working. And the Nine of Swords, here you can see it's a person crying. She's just like upset. You're worried about your finances. You're worried about, paying bills, all of those fun money things. Below the Chariot, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, but she's sideways, which for me indicates a blockage. And this was like the role that we're looking at, what's blocking you. And the Queen of Pentacles is about providing for your family, being a nurturing figure. So, maybe you're doing all of this hustling because you've got your family to provide for, children or relatives, maybe your parents. But you got it sideways because you don't feel like adequate enough, like you're putting in all of this work because you have to, but you don't feel like you can fill these shoes of the Queen of Pentacles, This is interesting. Like maybe there was someone else that did this and they left your life and are no longer able to provide for these family members, and you feel like you can never be as strong or as capable as they were, so you're just feeling inadequate and like maybe even a little bit resentful as being the one who's been thrusted in this position of being the Queen of Pentacles, of being a provider, Then with the Nine of Pentacles, to clarify it, you got the Hangman reversed and the Magician sideways. So the Hangman reverse is about not trusting the universe enough. Excuse me. So the Hangman is about trusting the universe, just, being in a difficult position, but maintaining serenity. And reverse is just, you're not trusting the universe enough. And then with this Magician here, you're not able to invest time and energy into manifesting the things that you want to manifest, really. I feel like there's a strong sense of obligation throughout this entire reading, So when you're manifesting half-heartedly, when you're not manifesting what you truly want, that blocks your manifestation, and that's why you're getting enough, but not as much as you want, because this, like I said, when this card comes out sideways, for me it's a blockage, but it's not fully reversed, so it's like blocked, but you're still going, you know what I'm saying? So you're still able to manifest, but you're not reaching your full magician powers because you're not able to work on the areas of your life, or to work a job that you are truly passionate about, because you don't trust the universe that if you did pursue your passions, that your needs would be taken care of, And below the Nine of Swords, you've got the King of Pentacles upright. Interesting that you got the Queen and King of Pentacles if you're married or otherwise committed to someone, they might, the king and queen might represent the two of you. But here, explaining this Nine of Swords, I feel like there's someone in your life, a father figure, not necessarily a male, but someone who fills that provider role, and you're worried about not living up to their expectations. This person is someone who has or had their shit together so well, and you're just like worried that they're judging the way that you're living your life, or not even judging, but that they're disappointed in the way that you're living your life, and in the way that you're creating abundance. Like I was talking about earlier with the Queen of Pentacles sideways, like there was someone who was fulfilling this role of provider, and you feel like you can't fill those shoes, and maybe that someone was this King of Pentacles, and you feel like if they could see how you're doing now, they'd be like, what the F? Like, how are you managing? Like, this could also be about a business more than your home life. Like if someone left you a business, if you've taken over someone else's business, you feel like the original founder would just be like, what are you doing with my business? So yeah, just to do a quick recap, you're like working hard, you're hustling, but you feel like you're not seeing as much abundance that is proportional to how hard you're working, and that's just making you worried because you can't keep up this Chariot energy forever. No one can, and that's what's concerning to you. You're working this hard because you feel like you have to be this Queen of Pentacles, but you don't feel adequate enough. You don't feel like you can live up to that. You're not seeing the fruits of your labor because you're not truly passionate about what you're doing. Maybe you were at first, but now that passion has kind of left you, and you're no longer this magician manifesting like with gusto, with excitement, with passion. You feel like you can't trust the universe, that if you do the things that you truly want to do, if you do things in the way that you really want to rather than in the safe way, you fall, you won't be able to come through, and you're worried that there is a figure in your life that is judging you and finding you wanting. So let's get some advice now. If that didn't resonate as the place you're in right now, you might want to like pick a different group, or like if you have multiple streams of income, each group might be for a different one of those streams, because I aim for my messages to be quite specific. So if this doesn't fit, don't try to force it to fit, pick a different group or pick a different video. Please, Spirit, some advice for group 1. Wow, you got the Queen of Wands, double Queen. I'll pull them all and then I'll interpret. All right, some advice for group 1, and that 9 of Pentacles reverse, feeling of not having enough, and that Hangman reverse of not trusting the universe. And I'm gonna take the top and bottom card because they both speak out. Actually, no, I'm just gonna take the top card. The Fool is what it is. Please, Spirit, can I have some advice on that 9 of Swords worried feeling? Justice. Wow. So 2 out of 3 were major arcanas in this one. 2 of Vessels reversed is your bottom deck energy. So for this chariot feeling, your advice is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very, very passionate figure. She is in many ways a more selfish queen than the Queen of Pentacles. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is so turned towards providing, towards nurturing, and the Queen of Wands is, I mean, all of the queens are more or less nurturing because they have that like feminine energy, but the Queen of Wands is much more about growth, expansion, creativity, passion, and especially combined with the Fool here, which is what you got under this Nine of Pentacles feeling. You know, Spirit's really telling you to follow your passion. You know, if you've been thinking about quitting this job, or honestly, the Fool is about a like brand new cycle beginning, but the vibe that I'm getting here, it's almost less quitting and starting something else and just taking a new approach to what you're already doing, you know? Like I said earlier, this whole reading has such a vibe of you playing it safe, but Spirit's telling you to take a risk, be a fool, and you embark on a new journey and be able to learn and grow in ways that you can't even predict. You know, and Spirit's telling you to reconnect with your Queen of Wands self, you know, just that passionate, fiery woman that lives inside of you, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, that is your driving force, you know, like I said earlier, this might be something that you had passion for and that kind of like trickled off, you know, and Spirit's telling you like, try to reconnect with that passionate impulse that you used to have, you know. Don't do things because you think that's what the responsible Queen of Pentacles would do, you know. Just follow your impulses, go wherever your passion leads you. And with this King of Pentacles judging energy, I think it's so funny, your advice card was justice. So what this is telling me is that, first of all, if you do this, if you put your creativity and your passion and your true honest self, that's another thing about the Fool. The Fool cannot disguise, cannot lie, because he's too stupid to do so, and that's what you need to do. I'm not saying you have to be stupid, but you can't come into this with any sort of pretense or pretentiousness or guile or trying to seem like more than you are. You know, embrace the fact that you aren't this king, you don't feel like this queen, you don't know, and that's okay. You know, not everyone knows everything all the time. And with this Justice card, Spirit's telling you that if you come in with this passionate, honest energy, results will follow. You know, Justice is a very, very impartial card, and it's a very like, you get what you put out, you know. So if you put out this, again, honest is like coming through so strong. I know I already said that like 5 times, but Spirit's really like honest. Not that I'm saying that you're a dishonest person, but you know, just genuine, you know, just like this genuine, real passion. If you pursue that genuine, real passion that you can feel in your soul, you will receive justice. And an additional meaning about this is that we were talking about how you feel judged by this King of Pentacles, right? And here's Spirit saying that like, no earthly person can judge you. You know, if you believe in God, only God can judge you. If you like, whatever you believe in, like the opinions of other people, like compared to the justice of the universe, is just like, it's just like nothing, you know. The opinions of the other people just like straight up do not matter. So you don't need to be worrying about that, you know. And I'm also getting a vibe that for some of you, maybe you fear that you've come into this position in an unjust way, like you don't deserve this, you know, similar to that Queen of Pentacles feeling of like you can't feel these shoes, almost an imposter syndrome kind of feeling, like the universe is just. You would not have this position right now if you were not meant to. You are meant to be here. You are meant to be doing this. And again, you have no ending cards. Well, you have these 2 9s here, but other than that, many of these cards are just court cards, or, wow, it's like almost all court cards are major arcana. Only 2 of your 1, 2, 10. Only 2 out of your 10 cards aren't that. But, and those 2 are 9s actually. But again, I guess I can't justify it, but I just really feel like this isn't necessarily about you quitting a job and starting a new thing. It's just about you doing things in the way that you want to. You know, maybe you have this thing that you've been wanting to try, but because you haven't been like showing that many results, you feel like you can't propose this, you know. But that's exactly why you need a change, so that you can bring that full abundance into your life of the 9 of Pentacles. So I'm gonna pull a couple of oracle cards for you, not a lot, but just one from this Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection, and maybe that will help you with the trusting the universe bit of the Hangman reversed. Please, Spirit. You know, since I hadn't asked the question yet, I'm not going to take that, but okay. Please, Spirit, some advice for Group 1 to help them trust the universe, to help them manifest abundance into their lives. Some advice for Group 1 to help them trust the universe and manifest abundance into their life. You dwell on what you love. Asking someone to change is like pruning a tree. Neither will ever be the same again. Scariest still is that you can't quite know in what new directions they'll grow. I wouldn't change a leaf on you, the universe. That's interesting, because I feel like the back message and the front message of these cards don't match up that much, but with dwell on what you love, that really just made me think of this Queen of Wands. You know, like, focus on the parts of this job that you love, that made you get this job in the first place, you know? Just dwell on the parts that you love, that make you feel passionate, that make you feel creative. And this part in the back made me think of like this change that you want to implement, you know. It's scary because you don't know what new directions they'll grow in, but you just gotta trust, you know. And the last line, I wouldn't change a leaf on you. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Justice. The world is a just place. All of your experiences have led you to this point in your life, and you're exactly how and where you're meant to be. I'm gonna end it here, Group 1. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you have any follow-up questions or comments, feel free to comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, the little bell if you want to get notifications. If you have ideas for other videos that I want to do, any suggestions, feedback, anything at all, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. The Fool just jumped back out again. That Fool is just like, do it, do it, do it. Maybe that was confirmation that some of you needed, but yeah, have a good one. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this arcade bar token coin, this will be your reading. We are going to start by asking Spirit where you're at in terms of abundance, just like how you're doing, a check-in, and that will be our first roll of cards. And then we'll have a second roll clarifying kind of what you're at and telling us like what's blocking you from being more abundant. And then we'll have a third roll that will be advice. So, and then we'll pull 1 or 2 oracle cards, not a lot, just to finish it out. So Spirit, Group 2, where are they at right now in terms of their abundance? Group 2, Spirit. All right, we got exactly 3 cards, which is how many I wanted. So just go ahead and take them. Wow. Very interesting. So first card you got, 9 of Wands reversed. The Empress upright. And the 2 of Pentacles reversed. So 9 of Wands is about working on something so hard for so long, and you're just tired. You know, you see how this man has a little bandage wrapped around his head. He's like wounded, he's exhausted, he's mentally exhausted. And it being reversed, it's also a vibe of like, you're scared of like of the fact that you've been putting so much effort into this and not seeing the results. That makes you feel scared. And you know you have a great idea. You know that this thing that you're working on is abundant. You know that it will bring you abundance, but the fact that it hasn't you is carrying, that it hasn't yet is carrying you. And with this 2 of Pentacles reversed, you're feeling just like overwhelmed with the demands of like the material life and whatever this thing you're trying to manifest is, which is also material, but like this is something you're creating, you know. You're like it's I keep getting this image of like birthing something, you know, which is with the Empress, you know, she is about a lot about fertility, you know, but it really feels like you're fucking laboring, you know. And you're just trying to push that baby creation out, and it just won't come out. And at the same time that you're trying to push this baby creation, you know, maybe you have your day job, you know, maybe this is like a business, an Etsy shop that you're trying to get off the ground, but you're still having to do your day job, and it's just feeling like A, exhausting, and B, overwhelming, and like you can't manage it. So let's get some background. Spirit, for group 2, can I get a clarifying card for the 9 of Wands? What is blocking this manifestation for group 2? Please, Spirit. Clarifying card for the 9 of Wands. What is blocking this manifestation? Clarifying card for the 9 of Wands. Wow. The Star. The Star is something that is blocking you. Is really quite something. But we'll pull them all and then I'll interpret. What's blocking this Empress from creating her creation? What's the background of this Empress card, and what's blocking her from her creation? You've got the 3 of Pentacles reversed. And what's the background of this 2 of Pentacles? Alright, I guess I'll take 2 even though I only wanted 1. The Queen of Swords and Judgment. Okay. Okay. So below this 9 of Wands, you got the Star. The Star is about guidance, and it's also about self-care and healing. Like, do you see how she's just like dipping her feet into this little pool of water? So kind of the background for this 9 of Wands is that you just haven't had time or energy to take care of yourself, you know, for your own self-care. And that just makes you feel more exhausted, you know, because any spare second that you have is kind of put into trying to create this. And this, what is blocking this beautiful creation from coming into life, from bursting out of the Empress, is the 3 of Pentacles reversed. The 3 of Pentacles is about collaboration. 3 men, right? They're looking at this map together, and they're like planning how they're going to build this cathedral, right? So you're just feeling like unsupported, like there's no one in your life that can help you figure this out, and you just have to hack it alone. And it's just like, how can you build something that is so big and so, like, this is amazing, like this thing you're creating is like powerful, and it just feels like too much for one person to handle, you know. You just feel like you need help and there's no help available, you know. you're having to be this lone empress, but without the support of her subjects, you know, you're feeling, yeah, just unsupported and like you have to do it alone. And below this Two of Pentacles, you've gotten Judgment and the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a very rational energy, and judgment can be about a calling, but it can also just be about like literal judgment and people judging you, you know? It's interesting because group one got different cards, but with the same basic meaning in the same position of the third card. But yeah, you feel like there's someone in your life, this Queen of Swords, and she might be within you. She might just be yourself, or like your mom's voice in your head, or your dad's voice. It doesn't have to be a woman. But just someone who is very rational and who's just like whispering in your ear, like, how long are you going to be able to keep this up? Is this a good plan? Do you have a good plan? Do you, like, you can't manage this. You're not managing this. It's unrealistic. You're having these unrealistic expectations, and you're not going to be able to keep juggling this for much longer. You've been able to up until now, but you're not going to be able to keep this up. So you've got that little voice in your head, like, or literally someone, like a person who's giving you these vibes or telling you words like this, you know, just like telling you that your true calling is something else, you know, like you should be focusing just on one of these pentacles, you know, you can't be splitting your energy like this. You should just pick a pentacle, even if you feel called to that other one. Just, you know, be rational, make the practical decision, make the smart decision, be smart. And that's what's making you feel like, maybe I can't manage it. Maybe this person's right. Maybe I can't juggle these two things, even though you have been. And if you could just carve out a little more space for self-care, you could keep this up, you know? And maybe that's part of why you're feeling unsupported as well, because you've got this someone in your life who just keeps telling you like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know. So yeah, now let's get you some advice. If this part of the reading didn't resonate as the place that you're at, this advice is not going to be that helpful. So I suggest you either pick a different pile or just watch a different video. If you've got multiple streams of income or multiple places that you're trying to make abundance happen in your life, you know, each group could be one of those different streams. So, you know, if you want to watch 2 or 3 groups, that's fine, but just keep it really clear in your mind as you're watching, like what's what, you know? So if you've got whatever this is about in mind, now let's get some advice for you. When it falls out too fast, I don't trust it. I'm sorry, Spirit. If it's meant to be, it will fall out again. All right, Spirit, please, some advice for group 3. Some advice for this 9 of Wands reversed. Lack of self-care, feeling. Some advice for group 3. Please, Spirit, some advice for group 3 on this 9 of Wands. You've got the Page of Wands. Some advice for group 3 about this Empress who feels alone and unsupported. Wow, 10 of Cups. Wow, I love this 10 of Cups card. Let's just look at it a little more. It's just like so tender, you know? Just really touches my heart. Please, Spirit, some advice for group 2. Did I say group 3 earlier? If I did, sorry. Some advice. Let me take this out of frame, even though it's been here the whole time, but some advice for group 2 on that 2 of Pentacles overwhelming feeling. Some advice for group 2 on that 2 of Pentacles overwhelming feeling. Some advice for group 2 on that 2 of Pentacles overwhelming feeling. You've got the Artist reversed. All right. So for your Nine of Wands overwhelmed feeling, like you feel so exhausted and tired because your standards are just too high. You need to dial it back a little on what you expect of yourself. You know, the page is young, the page is still learning, the page is developing, you know, like if you were like watching a child trying to learn how to draw and you watch them like draw every single day, and then they would look at their drawings and they'd be like, this sucks, I need to work harder, I need to work harder, I need to draw more so that it's amazing. You would tell that child like, hey, chill. Like skills grow slowly, you know, like, and if you give yourself a little time to rest and then come back to this, maybe you'll feel more inspired, maybe you'll feel more like you're working on this because you want to and because you feel passionate about it, rather than because you are just like or because it's a burden you have to bear, you know. Like the Nine of Wands is not as burden of a feeling as the Ten of Wands, but it's still pretty burdened, you know. So with the Page of Wands here, you're just at the beginning of your journey. If you haven't seen the outcomes that you're expecting yet, don't beat yourself up over it. You know, you're still young, you're still youthful, you're learning, and you'll get there, you know, like little by little, you'll get there. And yeah, because this Nine of Wands, it was about that feeling of being exhausted, but it was also about the feeling of fear, right? I talked a little bit about that earlier, that you're scared that you've put so much effort into it, but nothing has come of it. So what if it's nothing, you know? But like nothing has come of it because you're only at the beginning, you know? And fear comes from looking at the unknown and being scared, right? Because you don't know what's there. But the Page of Wands looks at the unknown, and all they see is possibility as far as the eye can see. So if you can try to change that perspective a little bit, like, I know it's hard, I'm very guilty of this myself, but when you look at what you don't know and how many things in your life are uncertain right now, try to think of it as a gift, you know? Try to think of it as like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, but then that means that anything can happen, you know, and that you can take that to the negative side, you know, anything could happen, a catastrophe could happen, but anything could happen, like a brilliant, amazing thing could happen, could be created, you know, and you're just at the beginning. So try to feel excitement for the road ahead rather than dread. Below the Empress, you've got the Ten of Cups. So you've got this Three of Pentacles reversed because you're feeling unsupported, and here Spirit's telling you that maybe you're seeking support in the wrong places. You know, the Three of Pentacles is about like the material, you know, like work, you know, maybe like your workmates, you don't feel supported by them. But if you go to your family, you know, either blood family, children, spouses, parents, or friends, people that you know on a soul level are your family, regardless of blood ties, like there's so much love there for you. And you that's funny, remember when I was saying with the Empress that it felt like a birth, like a labor that's just going on for so long, and now here they are holding this beautiful baby and just being amazed at how beautiful and perfect that baby is. Like it's coming, you know, like your baby is gonna come out and it's gonna be so beautiful, and like if you don't have that in your life right now, if you don't have anyone, like a family you can turn to, just try to think of how you feel when it comes, how good it'll feel, how proud you'll feel, how beautiful this baby is that you created. You made this. You made this baby. That's amazing. So yeah, Spirit's advice is to try to reconnect to the emotional side of this creation. You know, like you don't need anyone but yourself to create this, to make this happen. And there is so much love around you. Like, I'm so sure, even if some of you watching this are thinking like, no, everyone in my family, they don't support me. You know, there is love there for you. There is love there for you. And again, it doesn't have to be your blood family. It can be your friends. But you think like, oh, even the people that I know that they love me, they don't support this baby specifically. Then don't talk about the baby, you know, just focus on the love. And once the baby is out, even if they initially, you know, weren't putting faith in your baby, they'll see how perfect and beautiful it is. You know, like, yeah, you're creating something beautiful, you know. Try to remember that. Try to remember that you're creating something beautiful, and there's love around you. And when even the haters, even the people that are haters right now, once this has manifested, they'll see then. You know, like, it's not, maybe spite isn't the best emotion that I should be leading you to, but everyone's gonna love it. Everyone's gonna love this thing that you're creating, you know. Maybe like that's part of your fear. You're putting this effort into it and you're scared that people won't like it, but people will like it. People will love it. Everyone loves babies. Babies are so cute. And I know it's not a literal baby, but you know, that's the analogy that I'm just running with. So, and then lastly, your advice on your Two of Pentacles feeling is the Artist reversed. This is a card that only exists in this deck. It's the equivalent of 23. So there's the Well, which is 22, and then there's the Artist, which is 23. The Artist is the vessel of creation. This card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. So this artist is a visionary. That's one of the words in the upright description as well. And it's reversed because it's like this Queen of Swords isn't seeing you as a visionary, and maybe you're not seeing yourself as a visionary. So advice here is just to remember that you're an artist, you know. And if other people don't get it, it's just because they can't see your vision in the way that you can, you know. They're just not as visionary as you are, you know. Like, they haven't set aside the distractions of the human condition, you know. They're distracted about all this human stuff so that they can't see the beautiful vision that you have. Like, you're an artist. Remember that. That's your last advice from Spirit. And you can create a world where you can have it all, you know. You can balance both of your pentacles and create abundance without needing to sacrifice the other things that you love, you know. Yeah. So just to do a quick recap, you have a project that you've been trying to birth into life, but you're feeling kind of exhausted, and more than exhausted, afraid for what's coming, and kind of overwhelmed, and like you can't manage all the things that you have to manage. This feeling of fear and exhaustion. Oh, the story is also about being guided, right? So remember, when you feel afraid, that you have this guiding light, this guiding star, you know, and you feel afraid and exhausted because you haven't given enough time to self-care and to meditation so that you can realize just how guided you are. You know, I think the biggest benefit of meditation is that you enter that state where you're just like, oh yeah, like I'm one with the universe, like everything's great, you know. So you haven't done that enough, you know, like I'm one with the universe and the universe will never take me somewhere that I'm not meant to go, so everything's fine, you know. So you haven't had that enough. Maybe meditation would be helpful for you. So you're feeling unsupported in your workplace in trying to create this, and you're feeling judged by one or multiple people in your life that embody these rational Queen of Swords characteristics. When you're feeling fearful and exhausted, remember this is only the beginning and you can still grow so much. You know, maybe this feels counterintuitive that I'm telling you, like when you're exhausted, I'm telling you it's just the beginning, there's a lot more to come, but that's exciting, you know, that's exciting. Even if like, yeah, even if you're exhausted, like I think it can be inspiring to know that you still have so much, so far to go, and so you can expand so much. You can expand in whatever direction you want. Remember, there is love around you, and there is love within you. And once that love pops out in the form of a metaphorical baby, everyone else around you will also see and also love it. They'll love it. They'll love it. With the artist reversed here, it said something about the human condition as well, right? So you're an artist, you're a visionary, you can create whatever you want to create in your life. And if that means dropping some of the practical pentacles, you know, so be it, you know. Like, I think it's a Twitter thread where this one lady talks about how like life is like juggling, and some balls are like plastic balls, and if you drop it, it's a bummer, but it's not a big deal. And some balls are like glass balls, and if you drop it, it's like way of a bigger deal. So like, don't drop your material glass balls, you know. So like, still pay rent. That's kind of a big ball that you have to keep juggling. But you know, if you turn in that assignment late, or if you, yeah, like that sort of thing, you know, like if you miss a deadline, but it's still fine. If you're like a little late for work, but it's still fine, it's fine, you know. Don't beat yourself up about it, because you know that there's something much, much bigger than these stupid little assignments, or just, I'm not gonna call your job a stupid little job, but you might. Or you might not. Maybe you love your job. I don't know. I don't want to project. So yeah, you're creating something much, much bigger than this. So if you drop some plastic balls, it's not a big deal. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So let me finish out with a card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. Please, Spirit, one last piece of advice for the group 2 who picked the Arts District's token. One last piece of advice on how they can manifest abundance in their life. Please, Spirit, one last piece of advice on how they can manifest abundance in their life. 3 cards. Okay, I'm just gonna pick the bottom one. Oh, this is so funny. Breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand. I literally, the very first reading I did with these cards, I got this card as well. Like, you saw me shuffle, and I've shuffled it since then, and I haven't had these cards enough, because sometimes I think maybe I get the same card a lot because I've just like somehow bent it, and then as I shuffle it, that one's more likely to come out. But like, this deck is quite new. Like, this card is not bent. This is just a synchronicity, I guess. But yes, a breakthrough is at hand. So just like, keep going, keep doing your thing. You're about to have your big break. It's like so close. The baby is almost out. So just push a little bit more, and then your baby will be out, okay? If you don't like baby analogies, I'm sorry, because this reading was really full of it, but hopefully you didn't mind too much. But yeah, this was your reading. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to comment down below. Also, feel very free to hit that subscribe button. Check out my Patreon. The link is in the description as well if you'd like. And yeah, let me know if it resonated. I really, really hope that this was helpful for you and helped you gain a little more hope. But, you know, getting both the Empress and the Star in this reading, like, trust me, your idea is good. Your idea is so good. You got this. You 100% got this. The breakthrough is at hand. So don't worry too much, okay? Bye. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this American dollar with... Is this Lincoln? Yeah, Abraham Lincoln at the back. It says, "In God we trust, 16th president, 1861 to 1865. I was like, wow, Lincoln died when he was only 4? But no, that was when he was president, not his, like, birth years. I'm, like, stupid. Okay. Let me get you some advice. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna first have a row of just where you're at, and then a row of like background and what's blocking your abundance, and then the third row will be advice. So without any further ado, because these cards are itching to get to it, please, Spirit, for Group 3, where are they at right now in terms of their abundance? For Group 3, where are they at right now? The Sun reversed. For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? Judgment. For Group 3, where are they? That's too many cards. Sorry. For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? For Group 3, where are they at in terms of their abundance? Wow. Took us a while, but it was worth it. Your third card is the High Priestess. What's going on, Group 3? You're, like, kind of killing it. Why are you watching this? Alright, give us some background and what's blocking their abundance. Give us some background to clarify. Give us some background on this judgment and what's blocking their abundance. Give them some background on judgment to clarify what's blocking their abundance. Clarify judgment and tell us what's blocking their abundance. Background on the High Priestess. Oh, all right. I will take. Oh no, I'll take just the top one. Yeah. Well, no, I'll take this. The Lovers was right below it. It's the 8 of Pentacles and the Lovers. Okay. So the Sun is a card of abundance and happiness and success and basically all things wonderful. And you've got it reversed, but even reversed, the Sun's always a positive card and a symbol of like good things. So the fact that it's reversed is kind of telling me that you're just kind of not seeing or not accepting the abundance that's in your life. Over here you've got Judgment. I struggle with Judgment, honestly. It's one of the cards that I most like. What's going on here? But it's about a calling. It's about feeling called. Like you feel called to something greater, you know, like maybe you do have things in your life that are abundant and make you happy, but you just feel like there's something more out there for you, you know, you just feel like there's more and you're trying to call that to you. You see how she's like blowing on that horn and all these butterflies are coming to her? Like that's what you want. You wanna, or like yeah, you want to be the person blowing the horn and having the butterflies coming to you, but right now you feel like the butterfly who's being called to something that you don't quite understand, you know? And with the high priestess here, you're a very, very, very intuitive person, and you're getting a lot of messages, a lot of just like spiritual downloads. And that's kind of how you know that there's more out there for you. There's more that you could be receiving, you know? And yeah, with this sun, like with this configuration, I just really feel like you have material abundance, and kind of what you're really seeking is spiritual / emotional abundance, you know? Like you have money, but it just feels empty, you know? And if this doesn't feel like you, just go ahead and pick a different reading, like a different group, or just pick a different video to watch, because I really aim for these readings to be, these messages to be quite specific. So if it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't make sense, don't try to force it to make sense. It just might not be for you, you know? But yeah, this sun reversed, you've got the Seven of Swords. So maybe it's reversed because you feel like these blessings you've received, you like didn't really deserve them. You got them to dishonest means. Like maybe you literally like did some shady shit to get to where you are in life right now. Or maybe it's just that kind of feeling of like imposter syndrome of like, you know, I have this awesome position, I've gotten these awesome awards, but they just don't know that secretly I suck, you know? But yeah, it's this feeling of being undeserving, unworthy, like too sneaky for the light of the sun, you know? Like, yeah. Below Judgment, you have the Fool, which is like about new beginnings, right? Do you see how she's on the edge of the cliff and she's like kind of about to leap off, and she's just like trusting that the wind will catch her, you know? Like, it's interesting because Judgment is the 20th card and the Fool is the 0 card. So yeah, you just feel called to a new beginning. You feel like this, whatever has brought you this past abundance is kind of like stale now. It's not, you're feeling called to something else. You're feeling called to a new beginning, to something where you can expand, you know? You feel almost constricted by the abundance you've created, you know? More like it's a jail than a castle, you know? And below the High Priestess, you've got the Eight of Pentacles, which wanted to come out twice, and I didn't take it the first time. And Spirit was like, you're fucking taking this. And under that, we had the Lovers, which I also tried not to take, and Spirit was like, take it. And I was like, all right. And with this, the Lovers, you know, that's why I said earlier that you're not trying to manifest material abundance. You might be trying to manifest a lover in your life. And if you already have one, then it's about manifesting love for life, you know, excitement for life, feeling connected to the spiritual world. You know, with this Eight of Pentacles, you've just been like kind of slogging away at this job that you're at, and it's bringing you material abundance. I really don't feel like you're struggling in terms of the material, but it's not making you feel fulfilled. It's not, you just feel in your heart of hearts that there's something else out there for you, you know? So the third row is going to be some advice for you. Please, Spirit, some advice for group 3 on how they can find their spiritual and emotional abundance. Please, Spirit, some advice. Please, Spirit, some advice for group 3 on how they can find their spiritual and emotional abundance. Please, Spirit. Page of Cups reversed. All right. 3 of Wands reversed. Stop looking so far ahead is your advice from Spirit. Like, maybe with this 7 of Swords reversed, you know, you're feeling dishonest, you're always feeling like the other shoe's about to drop, you know, and this is spirit saying like, stop expecting that, stop worrying about that, stop planning for that, because it's not gonna drop unless you keep doing, unless you like literally just manifest it into existence by just worrying about it so much. But even so, it's just not gonna drop you. That's not something you have to worry about, like and this Three of Wands specifically, it's about this lady, right? And she steps in her spiritual journey and she can see kind of these like stones and these like sticks in the cross shape, I don't know what you call that, left behind by those who came before her and couldn't go any farther. And maybe you almost feel like you've like stagnated in your spiritual journey, you know, you feel like you've come so far compared to where you were before in terms of your spirituality, but now you feel like there's nowhere else to go, you know, like kind of you like you reached master level and there is kind of nothing else for you, you know. It's like boring because you already know everything, you already know how to manifest, you already know how the universe works. It's just like boring. But with the Three of Wands here, what the book talks about is as you take another step, the path materializes before you, you know. And these other people who left this stuff behind couldn't go any farther because they didn't trust, because they weren't you. Even if you've gone the farthest than anyone has ever gone in terms of spirituality, than anyone that you know, or that anyone period, anyone in the world has ever gone, there's still farther to go. Like we are constantly expanding, both materially, our universe, and spiritually, and there's so much more out there for you. Look at this abyss. It's basically an abyss, right? If you keep walking, there will be more. Just because you've reached the end of the path doesn't mean you've reached the end of your journey. Keep going and just make a new path, you know. Even if you feel like secrets of the universe, it's kind of like it's boring, I get it, you know, like with this feeling called to something more, it's like hard because you feel like there isn't anything more, you know. You already like reached your ultimate form, but you haven't. You can grow so much farther than this. Think about where you were months ago, or where you were before you even started your spiritual energy journey. You know, you thought you were at your max level then, and I'm not saying that you haven't grown since then, and I'm not saying that you're not like at your top level now, but you can go even farther, you know. This candle's almost going out, but I guess the reading's almost over, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, there's farther still to go, even if you feel like it's all done, you know. Like, keep taking steps, keep making moves, and more revelations will present themselves to you, you know. Maybe even daily, maybe more likely than you can even imagine, more frequently than you can even imagine. And your advice for this feeling of being called is, first of all, trust it. Trust that advice. You're this King of Wands. You see how there's like wings growing out of his back? Like, you can fly and be and do anything you want. And with the Six of Cups, it talks about childhood and the past. And maybe there's someone from your past that can help you figure out these feelings, you know, if you open up to them. Or maybe there's like a childhood dream that you like kind of dismissed and, you know, never really pursued. But that has the potential to bring you that spiritual and emotional fulfillment that you want, you know. Like I said earlier with Judgment, right, that you wanted to be the one blowing the horn and then having the butterflies come to you. But it's less of a calling and more of an invitation, you know. In this card, you can see this little girl and she's setting like tea, like a tea party for her like stuffed bears and, you know, just the animals of the forest, and just being fully unassuming, just playing, you know. And she has an unexpected guest of this fairy queen come to her because she invites and opens herself up to whatever will come, and then she can get greatness. You know, you can't get greatness by trying to call greatness to yourself. Does that make sense? Like, if you're just constantly like, I have this big, awesome calling that I have to find and follow, you're never gonna find it if these are the terms that you think of it as, you know. Rather, try to take a more softer, gentler approach of like, my life is good right now, and I can invite more good things to come into my life. And they don't have to be huge ass, like thousands of butterflies coming to me. They can just be just my stuffed bears and the little animals around me, you know. And I will just host this tea party to show my appreciation to them and play with them and invite whatever good thing that lives in this forest to come to me, but without these expectations of greatness. And then the fairy queen, like literally the, you know, highest, I keep wanting to say HBIC, you know, but I'm trying not to swear in these YouTube videos, so let me think of a different way to word that. But yeah, just literally the highest boss in the land comes to this little girl who wasn't expecting, who wasn't trying to summon the fairy queen. You know, she doesn't have like a freaking summoning circle and, you know, all the hubbub and bells and whistles to summon the fairy queen. She has tea, biscuits maybe, a little some of this, a little some of that. Simplicity is your key here. Like that sort of childhood innocence as you approach finding this calling. You know, it's not gonna feel like this huge thing at first. It has to grow into that. And if you just keep waiting sort of to like go outside and one day have like this random person walk up to you and like prophesize like, this is what you're gonna do, you're gonna be great, boom boom boom, like it's not gonna happen like that, you know. I mean, it might, but only if you have this carefree, simple attitude. If you expect it, if you need it to happen like that, it like won't, you know. And lastly, with your high priestess, you have the Page of Cups reversed. This is rarely the advice that I give people, but the Page of Cups is about daydreaming, right? It's like she's holding that bowl, and inside that bowl is all of that golden mist / liquid that represents all of her hopes and dreams, and she's just like holding it like really close to her and like really sniffing it in. And you gotta reverse because you're like you're kind of doing that too much almost, you know, like you know, when it's upside down, it's like the bowl's upside down and all of the gold stuff is just like falling out and just spreading into the water, and then she can't even smell it anymore because it's so diluted, you know. You're diluting your daydreams by kind of overworking them a bit, you know. And that's why this lover that you're trying to manifest, if it's a lover, can't come in, because you are just doing it too much. You know in your heart, in your soul, in your intuition that you're meant for this great big love. And I agree, you are. But as you like, I'm almost thinking of like something that you play with, and as you play it with it, you like smooth the edges of it, you know. Like that's what you're doing, but you're doing it to the point where it like loses its shape, it loses its form, you know. So just like let go of the daydream a little. Like, I love daydreaming. I daydream so much. And again, I rarely give this advice of telling people to daydream less, but it's really what I'm getting from you. Like, you're just pushing too hard. You're trying to manifest too hard, and the love of your life, if that's what you're trying to manifest, or the emotional abundance, if it's not, it can't come in if you're just lost in this land of daydream forever, you know? So just do a little less daydreaming about love and a little more playing. Just play more. Do something for your inner child, you know? Like, when was the last time that you thought about who you were as a child? You know, like, this is something we talk a lot about in my therapy, how I feel like growing up, many of us are put in this position where we just have to like put our inner child in a corner and just be like, no, I can't do any of that because I have to worry about my adult responsibilities, you know? And again, because I feel like you're such a developed person, you're not really at that point of putting the child in the corner anymore. But so you've like let her out of the corner, but now play with her, you know, like play with your inner child. I'm using her pronouns because child is a feminine word in Portuguese, but your inner child may be, you know, a man, or I mean, it's not a boy or a girl, depending on whatever, your own gender. So yeah, there's still so much growth ahead for you. And to get to that growth, you gotta like look back, you know, like you think you're like done with all of that. There's nothing new that it can bring you, but trust me, there's something there. There's something in your childhood dreams and your childhood wants that is just brimming with like anticipation and waiting to be freed and waiting to be explored, you know, like if you feel like you can't go forward anymore, like you've reached a point of like being stuck, like there's a barrier here, you can't go any further, then go down, you know, and then you emerge on the other side and continue going forward. I'm going to get one last message from you from this deck called Everyday Miracles. Please, Spirit, for group 3, one last piece of advice to help them manifest abundance in their lives. Please, Spirit, group 3, one last piece of advice to help manifest abundance in their lives. Please, Spirit, for group 3, one last piece of advice to manifest abundance in their life. Please, Spirit, one last piece of advice to help group 3. I was just really like, come on, just give me something, but here we go. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Sit quietly and close your eyes. The light within you is sufficient. It alone has power to give the gift of sight to you. Exclude the outer world and let your thoughts fly to the peace within. They know the way. So yeah, I feel like this really resonates well with the whole inner child message of just like, you know, going within. And like, again, because you're a spiritual person, maybe you already do a lot of meditation, but just like maybe try it more focused on your inner child. Maybe you feel like you've already explored all that there is to explore in your inner landscape, but it's infinite and sufficient to keep giving you forever. It alone has power to give the gift of sight to you. Yeah. That's your reading, group 3. I hope it resonated. I hope it was real helpful. If you have any comments or feedback, please go ahead and comment down below. You may also feel free to subscribe if you feel so inclined, and hit the little bell button if you would like to get notifications about future readings. I also have a link to my Patreon in the description if you would like to check that out. yeah, that's your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.